Hi, my name is Dynasty, and welcome to TV 1061. Join our network and broadcast your event live across the continent. Come to our studio and film and stream your talk show, sitcom, showcase, and broadcast it worldwide. Combine multimedia with your live stream. Independent filmmakers, show your movie and afterwards interview your cast live. Sponsors, advertisers, I'm talking to you. This is your chance for global exposure. These are very exciting times we live in. Traditional TV is all but a thing of the past. TV 1061 is now on the Roku platform with a viewership of 46 million and counting. Roku is an industry leader on internet TV. It is the most popular and fastest growing internet TV platform. If you are interested in developing and streaming your own show or movie, or coming in as a sponsor or an advertiser, please send your contact information with a short description of your interest to 1061tv@gmail.com. Thank you. Hi, my name is Dynasty, and welcome to TV 1061. Join our network and broadcast your event live across the continent. Come to our studio and film and stream your talk show, sitcom, showcase, and broadcast it worldwide. Combine multimedia with your live stream. Independent filmmakers, show your movie and afterwards interview your cast live. Sponsors, advertisers, I'm talking to you. This is your chance for global exposure. These are very exciting times we live in. Traditional TV is all but a thing of the past. TV 1061 is now on the Roku platform with a viewership of 46 million and counting. Roku is an industry leader on internet TV. It is the most popular and fastest growing internet TV platform. If you are interested in developing and streaming your own show or movie, or coming in as a sponsor or an advertiser, please send your contact information with a short description of your interest to 1061tv@gmail.com. Thank you.
This is Ms. Fur, and welcome to The Flavor. And our top 10 countdown starts with
I was dead broke, I ain't had shit, but I made it all happen like magic. They counted me out, but I still made it out, and I took home the crown like a pageant.
Encourage your dream, number 2, Untitled, number 1 up Firearm, got the whole world.
Hello, this is Papa Snoop, and this is the tip of the week.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom, Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom, Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. I have tonight guests with me, John Salone and Yolanda West. We're broadcasting live from Douglasville, Georgia studio on Roku TV and YouTube and Facebook TV 1061. Producing by our show is Felix Washington. Some of our sponsors for this broadcast are State Farm with Sherry Denard, Rock and Poppin' granted, with Nick Tillis Wilson as the owner. Marvin Freitman, a Bell Strictly Chevrolet in McDonough, and Jaguars International. Tonight's topic is going to be American gun violence. America has a gun violence problem, and what can we do about it? Let's play what gun violence is.
Gun violence is committed with the use of a firearm. For example, a pistol, shotgun, assault rifles, or machine guns.
Keep on.
Gun violence key facts, which are based from 2017. Gun violence is a daily tragedy that affects the lives of individuals around the world. More than 500 people die every day because of gun violence committed with firearms. The majority victims of gun violence participants are young men. Both women are particularly at risk of firearms violence. By an partner, sexual violence can also be effectuated by gunfires. Coach, back to you.
We're going to talk about gun violence in the schools. Recently, there have been a lot of gun violence in our public school, mass shooting in our schools. Just recently, last week in Michigan, in Oak Hill School, a 15-year-old did mass shooting, killing students in the school due to the parents gave him a gun and knew that he had a gun. By doing that, he killed four kids and injured 9. And that's just one of the mass shootings going on in our schools. There has been 28 schools this year in gun violence. Over 149 injured due to gun violence in our school systems. 27,000 students from K to 12 has been inflicted by gun violence. Most high schools are done. Most of the mass shootings today's world are done by the white males in our society of mass shootings. Let's consider gun violence. We have gun violence. Kids are getting these guns, and parents are giving them the guns to go to gun violence. The incident in Michigan, the parents was told that the kids was doing guns in school. They came to the school. They talked to the principal, the counselor, and they never checked his backpack, that he had a gun in his backpack. And he came out of that meeting and he started killing students. This is what we call lack of supervision of their children. As we continue with gun violence, we're going to go over to John. John, pick it up there, John.
Hey, my name is John Sloan. Welcome to Coach's Corner. As you know, the topic is about gun violence today. Gun violence contributes to, as Yolanda said, over 500 deaths daily. Look at that number, 500 deaths daily. That means you're susceptible when you're getting up to go to work, you can get shot through the door. Riding in your car, coming home, you can get shot. Your kids playing in the playground, they can get shot. You walk into the store, something has to be done about this. Also, the gun violence tracker states from November 20th to November 26th of this year, 1 week, 7 days, 344 deaths and 632 injuries in 1 week. That's insane, man. That's really insane. And every year, an average of 665, over 600 people in Georgia die by gun violence. You know, that's ridiculous. The Second Amendment states, the Second Amendment was designed for the rights to bear arms within your home to protect your family. NRA states there should be no restrictions on whatever type of gun you want to have. That's ridiculous. It's all about money right now. 6 states prohibit people from openly carrying handguns. And that's New York, Illinois, California, Washington State, Florida, and North Carolina. What is meant, let me ask you a question, Coach. What is meant by open carry state?
Open carry state means you can carry your gun openly in a public place without being hit, and as to anybody can carry, as long as they see the gun. As long as you can carry the gun, in an open state, carry your gun, as long as the police can see it. That's what you call as an open gun carry.
All right, still, I want you to know, this is crazy. You can legally carry a gun as young as 18 years old in the following states. You can legally carry a gun as young as 18 years old in the following states. The states are New Hampshire, South Dakota, Utah, and West Virginia. In Kansas, in 2015, they passed a constitutional carry law eliminating permits required to conceal weapons. What causes gun violence? To me, Congress is one of the causes of gun violence because they make the laws. And as long as it's not affecting their siblings, their family, they make laws because it's all about money. You know, it's all about money. But what other things that cause gun violence is poverty, gangs and drugs, lack of opportunity, and perceptions of hopelessness. Some people feel there's nothing else I can do, so let me go get a gun and do what I need to do to get some money. We know that isn't right, but this is the mentality, and the United States and the Congress have a lot to do with that. What you think? What you think, Yolanda?
It does. It depends on. It really is the Congress, is the government, because it's out when it comes to them. Some are for it, then you have some that are not for it, and then it's no one taking responsibility. All they think about is money. It's money. As of for the statistics states in 2017, global wide, there are 8 million new small arms are up to 15 billion rounds of ammunition produced each year. The small arm trade is worth an estimate in the USA alone $8.5 billion per year. That's
a whole lot. I also wanted to say that schools underperform. Income inequality, which what I mean by that is misallocation of funds in certain communities. Mm-hmm. These funds are for this community, and all these funds is for that community. So we lack funds. So if you lack funds and don't have the money to do the things you need to do, you go get a gun and stick people up. I'm not saying that's right to do, but that happens. And also now that you can, ghost guns. You heard about ghost guns, right? You can buy guns online. You can buy guns online, and what are ghost guns? Let me tell you what ghost guns are. Guns that are unregulated firearms that anyone, including minors or prohibited purchasers, can buy and build without a background check. What I mean by that, it's untraceable. You can go online and buy parts from a gun dealer. Now you buying these parts from the gun dealer, and on YouTube, you can find out how you assemble them. That's crazy, man.
And it says also that the serial numbers are scratched off. And they assemble them, they order them from different places, not from the same place, but they go from different places.
No, you're right about that. So what I'm saying to you is that you can buy these from gun dealers.
Yep.
They taking them apart, selling them,
and they scratching off the
and you telling me the federal government can't stop that? It's all about money, man. It's all about money. What you think, Coach?
Well, what about that young man in Douglasville just had a ghost gun and killed his sister?
I know,
accidentally,
man.
Accidentally doing a gun.
What was the age of that? It was 13 or something?
13, first died, 14 for his sister, right here in Douglasville, Georgia.
It was,
he killed his sister with a ghost gun and was selling the guns to people.
Wow.
At the age of 13.
And it was one in Arizona that was 16-year-old where a fight happened in the bathroom and shot and killed a young man by a ghost gun.
Let me ask you a question. There was something that I heard on the news. I'm not sure where it was from. They saying that 13-year-old, could be the same incident. It was an 18-year-old. The 13-year-old was selling the 18-year-old a gun, and he took the gun and shot his sister by accident.
That's it. Right. Same one.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. Also we got this thing about stand your ground law. You know, how people get away with stand your ground laws. They can shoot a person in public, get away, instead they will stand their ground and walk away. Look at that case in Wisconsin.
I don't even want to talk about
that
case.
young man got
I'm so pissed off.
Stand his ground laws, shot them, killed them people, walked away. You know, that's open can of worms for everybody.
Yeah.
Stand their ground laws, you know, and there.
And
Now, let me just say this. Not only that, I seen him on TV today on TMZ, and he's like he's a hero. He's smiling and talking. Everybody's interviewing. He's going from place to place like he's a hero.
Yeah, but see, this is what people was looking at. Everybody, they looking at it in one direction, how it happened. They're not looking at it all the way around because the other two they're dead. So you know what this old saying say, dead man can't tell his story. So if you look at it from my perspective.
That's what they say?
That's what they say, dead man can't tell that story. That's why a lot of, I'm not saying a lot of people go ahead and kill their victims. But with forensic, it shows different. But with this case, it was already a loss. He was already a victim because of the judge. Then you have to sit and you have to look at how people are closed-minded instead of looking at what you know, on the other side, like with people that was hitting him, they was trying to disarm him.
Yeah, but you understand again, he was 17 years old. He wasn't even authorized to have a gun. His mama bought him that gun.
Still though,
and he got away with it from one state line to another state line.
Because of the judge and how people received it.
And saw him as him being the victim, but he took two lives. He took two lives from people.
My opinion, why they really not pushing it, the issue, because they was at a Black Lives Matter protest.
Well, we can't say that was the only issue. They not pushing it, but the fact was he killed somebody under the age of 17 carrying a gun. And he
said my opinion.
You know, and also look at the impact of guns on the Black Americans. You know, what we can say about that? Black Americans are definitely getting gun violence 13 times more homicides.
Well, you said something earlier. You said that white Caucasian men do the mass shootings.
Correct.
And I have to agree with you. So, but Black America, men and women on a one-on-one basis, they kill us. You kill your own kind for nothing. You kill your own kind because I stepped on your shoe. Because you don't like the way I looked at you. Because you tried to talk to my girl. You know, and not only that, they pull out guns shooting, and when they shoot, they running. So now that you're running, you hitting innocent people. You're hitting little kids who's in the park playing. You're hitting people who's in their house sleep. You're hitting people who just coming out the store. So it's ridiculous. Something has to be done. How do we reduce gun violence?
Well, they say the motive for mass shootings is committed by depraved, disgruntled. They're depraved by payback or failure in school, careers, romance,
being bullied,
and and being bullied. The one in Michigan, he shot back because he was being bullied.
And on that, can I piggyback what they have with our research?
Go ahead, Ms. Yolanda.
It states that with him, that his gun violence was the most documented incident this year. Along this year occurring in school, there have been 19 states in 2021 with the highest number of gun incidents taking place in Texas. But the one that just happened in Michigan was the largest documented incident of this year. But you also had deaths in other schools, shootings that have happened also in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, New Mexico, Delaware, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Louisiana.
So what would you say? How do we reduce gun violence? Anybody have any idea about that?
How to reduce gun violence? How about stopping the shooting in the schools? That's the first thing. How do we stop the shooting in the schools?
Well, you can stop that if you reduce gun violence.
Right, but there's other be some security measure of letting the guns in there. All schools should have metal detectors coming through. You know, back in the day when we came through, they did have metal detectors.
Yeah, they did.
They took it away back in the early 80s.
So in schools now, they don't have metal detectors?
They don't have metal detectors in schools.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. They just, and that's another incident. They could come through school with metal detectors.
Because I'd be like, when we used to go to high school, I'd be like, have to go through this metal detector. Yeah. Oh man, I don't have nothing. I gotta pull everything out, man.
Right.
So I just thought that they still had metal detectors.
Yeah. See, it's different where you're from than where I'm from, because there's a lot of the mass shooting that happening like in little small little towns and suburbs area, but like in my little small town.
We gotta go on break. We go on break. We'll be back in a minute. See you after break.
That medicine.
My name is Dynasty. Welcome to TV 1061. Join our network and broadcast your event live across the continent. Come to our studio and film and stream your talk show, sitcom, showcase, and broadcast it worldwide. Combine multimedia with your live stream. Independent filmmakers, show your movie and afterwards interview your cast live. Sponsors, advertisers, I'm talking to you. This is your chance for global exposure. These are very exciting times we live in. Traditional TV is all but a thing of the past. TV 1061 is now on the Roku platform with a viewership of 46 million and counting. Roku is an industry leader in internet TV. It is the most popular and fastest growing internet TV platform. If you are interested in developing and streaming your own show or movie, or coming in as a sponsor or an advertiser, please send your contact information with a short description of your interest to 1061tv@gmail.com. Thank you.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. Call line is open at 770-485-7724. Again, the call line is open for your comments about gun violence in our schools. We're going to tell you where Yolanda talking about school violence.
Okay, where I left out before the break is where Mr. Sloan was saying that at his school they had metal detectors. Where I'm from in a small town of Hawkinsville, we don't have no metal detectors.
Hawkinsville?
Hawkinsville is probably like maybe 2 hours south past on Warner Robins, Georgia.
Cold country?
It ain't no cold country now. Come on now. But we're known for the Hardy Boys and the Pulaski State Prison and the Mighty Red Devils. But as for what I was saying, like in my school, the school that I went in and that I went to in Hawkinsville doesn't have metal detectors. Also at the schools where my kids went at in Warner Robins, we don't have metal detectors. My son went to Northside, my 2 girls, you know, he graduated from Northside, they graduated from Warner Robins. Therefore, as I can tell, that there's no metal detectors nowhere, even in Macon.
There's a lot of schools don't have metal detectors today. I don't think there are any schools right now that can have metal detectors. Like back in the 60s and 70s, I know there was metal detectors in schools, not high schools going through back then, but the crime has increased totally bad from the 60s to 70s to these young generations now.
So I'm not understanding.
And I don't understand why these schools now don't have metal detectors.
Right.
Back don't have metal detectors, especially these big popular schools that's having all these mass shootings in. After the one shooting back in in Texas, they should start putting metal detectors in school at that time. But the government, again, they didn't put their money into that factor of like, let's protect the kids. They put that somewhere else. So that's another problem we got. They should have been, once that first gun shooting happened, every school in the United States should have metal detectors go up in their schools for protecting kids.
Wow, it's kind of crazy because back in the day, getting off 1 second, when there was a drug epidemic back in the 70s, they did nothing about it. But when it started going into certain communities, they started putting something in place so they could curtail that. So what I'm saying right now is that now that it's all these shootings, mass shootings, I would think the government, because where they at, like you said, like a lot of Caucasian young men are shooting this place up. I would think the Congress will put something in place, or the United States, or they would put something in place to protect their children.
The government is the cause of this mass weapons shootings that we have, weapons that we have, because they said in the 80s, government drops off guns. They're the one that was peddling them into communities. And then I also read in Chicago, all their guns are illegal because they said they're getting from the government. So they're dropping off.
You got to look at a lot of things. The governments have seen not one school got shot, 2 schools, but you got 32 this year got schools, and they still haven't put metal detectors in these schools or said protect their children. It's not just the kids, it's the parents not making the fist about putting up protection for the kids. Now let's look at this incident in Lenox Mall in Atlanta, Buckhead.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, who would think you put a metal detector in a mall? But here in Atlanta, Lenox Mall, now you gotta go through metal detectors because all the gun violence is happening in downtown in Buckhead. And who would think their neighborhood have that kind of violence?
Let me say this to you. I heard on the news the other day that in Lenox Mall, the metal detectors are not everywhere. they're only in some parts of Lenox Mall. So I was hearing people talk about people can come in through different ports and go in without metal detectors.
But they also have K9 dogs walking around to detect metal that you have an arm. They got
but
dogs.
if you bring in a gun, I don't care about nothing about no K9 because I'm coming in there and what's going to happen is going to happen.
Yep.
But they should have, my personal opinion, they need to have metal detectors everywhere around there.
Around the perimeter.
Because you have people in
Why
there.
should they even have metal detectors in malls?
And when they don't have them in schools.
And when they don't have them in schools. Now think about it. Why they got them in malls, but don't have them in schools?
Because more people go to the malls than the schools.
Economy.
See what I'm saying?
Money, as long as you're making
It's
money.
all about money, baby.
Yeah, but you got metal detectors in malls. But you ain't got nothing inside the school. You better protect the people going shopping of your merchandise than your child going to school.
Yeah, because you got vendors there who's going to pay to put metal detectors in there so they can make money. As you stated, Yolanda, it's all about money.
And the schools make money off the government by sending your child to school. Every child go to school, the government send money for that child that's in that school.
A lot of children can't hook you, man.
You can't make money off of the children. Do you know who the economy is ran by really? We as Black Americans, African Americans. If we was to just stop buying one day, you will see how to crash.
But now the question is, how do we reduce gun violence?
Tougher laws.
Well, I say that we have to rewrite or appeal
the Second Amendment.
The gun laws.
Yes.
Right. And however, the NRA they're not going to allow that to happen because they're making too much money off of guns.
You see what I told you how much they're making?
They're not going to stop that from happening.
They're making $8 billion.
They need
how much are they making?
This was in the statistics in 2017.
And it said what?
They're making $8 billion. They're making in the U.S. It says small arms trade is worth an estimate in the U.S. alone $8.5 billion per year.
That was back in 2017.
So just imagine 2021.
But I think we should also reduce we have to reduce the firearm access to young children.
Right.
Because it's easy accessible to them. And a person's 13 is young, 13, 14 having guns. What are they doing having guns? But now you got to say, where's the parents? Where are your parenting skills? Do you check your child when they come in the house? Do you have conversations with them?
That's just like Labor Day weekend in my community, in my little small town. Everybody know Warner Robins for the Air Force Base. But young man had a party. It went viral over the internet. Police intervened, told them to shut it down. It was good going on. Shots were fired. Young lady that was visiting her relatives for the weekend, she got killed. And guess who the ages of the people that
probably 13, 16.
They arrested.
What?
I think all of them was about either between 14 or 15, if I can remember.
That sense, man.
Yeah, but still, parents are buying their kids the guns. So
what do you mean parents are buying their kids
Parents are buying their kids these guns. That 15-year-old parent bought that gun.
Because you can have an assault rifle, and it's legal for them to carry.
But hold up, how is it? So the parent need to go to jail buying their children. You telling me that the parents are buying their underage children's guns?
They're correct. They are. That 15-year-old dad bought him that gun for Christmas. That 9mm shot. But he's going. They got him arrested.
Where they living at? Where he was living at?
In Michigan.
In Michigan. It was for his birthday.
Cut me off. Oh, the Michigan, huh?
Michigan.
Yeah.
Yes, it was in Michigan.
It doesn't make sense. How are you going to buy your son underage a gun for his birthday or any other day, as far as that concerned? They need to throw the book at the parent for something like that.
Okay, let me tell you about how the parents got caught up too, and they getting charged with involuntary manslaughter. The teacher called them, told them that they caught the young boy drawing with a picture at his desk where he had a gun, and they must die on there. They got in contact with him. They ignored it. Mom texted him and said that next time don't get caught.
Wow.
So that's why they're being charged, and then plus they had already had the incident with him, showing with the pictures, talking about the drawings, talking about gun violence and blood everywhere on it, and they still went out and brought him that gun.
So how do you think? What do you think, Coach? How can they?
I think we should increase the age limits on that. If you can look on cigarettes and alcohol, but you won't do it on guns to 21. They should increase the age of that. They feel like guns is less than cigarettes and cigarettes and alcohol is dangerous than guns.
And I think
and they should raise that age limit up.
Absolutely. I think they also have to hold the gun industry accountable.
Right.
Sure do.
You know, you have to hold the NRA accountable for what's going on. You know, but like I said, it's too much. Whenever there's too much money involved in something, they let everybody go as they please.
Then like
as long
with
as they getting their money.
Like the internet, you can buy anything off the internet. You can buy, make parts to buy bombs. You can buy a whole bomb. And see, they need to start putting restrictions on a lot of stuff, like showing stuff on the internet. Who would have thought at my age, when I was younger, to go somewhere and look, and I can call to build a bomb? Who would think like that? It always goes back to the government, the restrictions that they have. Because to me, in the world, these young people are seeing too much before their time. You 15 years old. I mean, not 15. Let me go back. You 3 years old. Well, you newborn. Let's do a newborn. When I was coming up, looking at TV, the husband and the wife was in the bed, then go to commercial. They sitting up if they was doing an intimate scene. Now you see it all.
Let me ask you a question. You think by the federal government lifting the minimum wage, maybe to $20, that would help some of the children or give them better jobs? You think that would help with gun violence a little bit?
Nope,
No.
because guess what? With them $28 gonna mean longer hours.
What you think?
No, I'm raising the. It's
ain't.
not gonna stop the crime and the guns. The next year, the thugs gonna be out there still shooting up everything, robbing. They gonna still do that. By increasing the minimum wages now, they don't even want to go to work now.
Now, yeah.
So why would $20 entice them to go to work? They don't want to go to
They
work.
don't want to go to.
Young
And
generation don't want to go to work.
Then you got the $28, so $28. That means they're gonna cut down on the people, the employees that they have. So that means longer hours for the ones that continue to stay. So that means that you'll have more people out of work.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have more kids staying home by themselves. And then guess what? They're going to get caught up in gangs. They're going to get caught up in all kind of different stuff because there's lack of supervision in the household.
What do you think about stiffer jail penalties?
For a gun?
Yeah, I mean, when I was from New York, I remember back in the day, if you get caught with a gun, there was a mandatory year at the time. So a mandatory year at the time. But what do you think for whether they're white, black, whoever? I think that they have to have mandatory sentencing guidelines if you caught with a gun, as a deterrent.
Well,
they already do. They have that. They have all that in play. Then if you get everybody with a gun with a strict mandatory, you're gonna have the population of the prisons overcrowded because you're gonna just have people with gun violence that's going on. But here go the thing is, you can get son away for getting shot. Say for instance, I shoot you for but you don't die, but it's aggravated assault. I can get anywhere from 10 to 30 years. Now I'm finna get down there, say another, you know how twisted the government is and how twisted the laws is. I can get 10 to 30 years. That's the minimum. The minimum is 10 years for an assault. It depends on what kind of assault you have. First assault, second assault.
Mm-hmm.
Just like same with attempted murder. You can get the minimum is 20 years to life with parole or without parole, depending on which state, because it's different in each state and each town.
State to state, right.
Each state, even the little bitty towns have their own stuff. But here go the thing is, you can get life in prison for that in state. You can get life for selling drugs in state. But if you molest a child, guess what? In the state, in some cases,
5 years.
You do 18 months on that SOPP program and you're released. Only time that sticks, basically, they say if you get caught with federal charges, they give you 30 years, you're going to do them 30 years.
Yeah, but even with the guns, you can get a probation. You don't even have to go do time.
You don't have to do time.
So they give you probation for getting caught with a gun. Under the age of 15, they give you, send you home to your mom, say, and then when they get 18, they seal the record that you even had a gun possession. So there's so many things in the gun laws that we need to change. But most of all, start with the parents about controlling the guns from these minors out their hands.
I just think mandatory sentencing is good. I'm really telling you that because what happens with that little child that's in the park and you kill that little child on the swings or the slides or the playground? What happens with their family? They suffer. So you know what? Sometimes they say no pain, no gain. So yeah, I think that they should, as a deterrent, stiffer jail penalties when you get caught with a gun. Technically, let me tell you this. Technically, you're not supposed to have a gun unless you get a permit. You know, that's the realism of it. But we know that that's not how it go. But if you're caught without a permit, you need to get a stiffer penalty, man, as a deterrent to tell your friends that, hey, you can't do that. You know what I mean?
I know, but I believe in, like some countries, how they do harsher punishment. You know, an eye for an eye. If you steal, cut your hand off. If you was to do like a lot of people that, like you get on death row, you murdered somebody, killed somebody with a gun, it may take you 30 years for you to electrocute them. Go ahead and kill them. That's my thing. If you shoot somebody with a gun and you kill an innocent child and you just plain out murder them, get them the same fate that you gave the person, your victim.
What you think about that?
Well, yeah, I believe it too. You know,
I
don't think nobody should be on death for those 20, 30 years. When you killed a child, 7, 8 years old, you got to go the same way they went. I think that they should. We're going to go for another short break, and we'll be back in a moment. Coach's Corner. Again, the call line is open at 770-485-7724. Call in for your thoughts on gun violence. We'll be back in a minute.
Because I can tell you.
Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Hi, I'm Harry Lennox.
I'm Michael Cowell, your funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party. All right, see y'all later. Bye.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here in one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community. And Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call taking my community back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're going to do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're going to bridge that gap because we're going to get out of here. We're going to shake hands. We're going to find out if they got any kind of problem we can assist them with and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And like I said, this is just one of many events that we bring this grill out to help with our communities and get involved.
We're back at Coach's Corner talking about gun violence and school mass shootings in America today. And we want your opinion. Call us at 770-485-7724. Tell us what you think about the gun laws and the gun violence problem we have in America. America has a gun violence problem. What can we do about it? Let's get back at it, pal. What can we do about it?
What can we do about it? I'm still on strict gun laws and penalties, but I wanted to say that to you. I'll get back to that, but what I wanted to say to you, majority of gun homicides victims are young, black men whose neighborhoods and communities are disproportionately impacted by gun violence as well. So they say, if I live in the community and I have guns in the community, I'm going to be a part of that.
Mike, what you mean by because there's guns in the community, you're going to be a part of that gun community?
Being young and black, I got to say that, being not just young and black, you can be young and white, but I'm talking about a lot of young kids now, they just said that they don't have no jobs, don't have no money. So you know what? If their friends if their friends have guns, they're going to tell you, yo, you better get a gun too. You know, and now you do different things. Like we talked about it last week. About people who follow people to be a part of. Mm-hmm. So you know what? So when there's guns out there, they may tell you to get a gun to protect yourself. And you'll get a gun to protect yourself, but that leads to bigger and worse things when you have a gun, especially when you're young, because we're hot-headed when we're young anyway.
Yep.
So if you step on my shoe and you take the gun out, I get shot. I don't mean to do it. I see TV shows where they getting ready to get sentenced and now they crying, mommy, mommy, but you already killed 2 people.
Sure have.
Why you crying to your mother now? You know what I mean? So this is something that have to be done. I wish the people can call in and tell me what it is. I don't know, but something have to be done. Because too many young people, babies, are getting killed in the park or in their home or in their carriage and stroller. Do you believe that?
I believe that. I believe that. A lot of kids. I was reading a story where a lot of kids are getting shot down by STEM, especially in Chicago. Look at us shooting in Chicago. I know you probably got something about Chicago. A lot of kids. They had more killing in the streets of Chicago and there in Queens, New York, as well. A lot of kids getting shot by guns. No gun control. There's no gun control whatsoever. I mean, everybody can buy guns. And internet, Google, everybody's selling how to do guns, how to shoot. You know, teach them how to shoot and all that. Parents not buying a gun, not supervised. You're not gonna tell me my child got a gun in the house and I ain't gonna find no gun in my house. You know, I'm gonna check him going in and out. I'll check his backpack. You know, age of 13, 14. You know, like you said, wearing flags. When you wear a flag, that means you got gang banging in you. You ganging, hanging, and slanging.
My son ain't gang banging. That's what they say.
Yeah, my son ain't gang, but when you got a flag, you're doing 3 things: you ganging, banging, and slanging. And that's what it is.
Banging, ganging, or slanging?
That's right. That's what you do if you come in with the guns in there. So it's the parents. Sometimes guns come from the parents' responsibilities. Like I said, not supervising their own kids, not what they're watching. When kids start looking at gun books or magazines or checking out guns, there's something in their mind. They gonna get a gun. They know what kind of gun they want to get.
But as Yolanda said, with these ghost guns, they can just buy it online and watch how to assemble it. They don't even really need. They may need $100 to purchase the little pieces, and they can put it together.
And most of the mass shootings, them young people was not in a gang. You can't always put it on a gang if they young, slanging or whatever, But a lot of times, gang members done got smart now, cause they in the industry.
But let's
they don't have tattoos on them no more. Wow. They're well educated now. Yeah, if they're in the poor community, they are encouraging their gang members to go to school to get a good education so they can get good jobs so they can be in different places.
But it's the same thing. Why were you walking around the streets with an AK-15, automatic semi-machine gun? What is your tent walking around with a machine gun? 30 rounds or more. So your tent already, you're going to take it out mass shooting. You're going to take out somebody even with that kind of weapon. We use that in the military. There's no way you need that kind of firepower in the streets, walking around the streets.
Back to the government. Tell them to stop making them.
Absolutely.
Or stop selling them.
They have to put restrictions on these guns. They can do it. If you can fly people to the moon, you can stop you can reduce the amount of guns that's coming into the United States illegally.
Yeah, didn't the owner of Amazon just fly to the moon with a couple people? Fly in space?
Absolutely. But they don't, like I said, the gun industry, you said how much are they making? How much did they make in 2017?
$8 billion.
They made $8.5 billion per year.
So imagine what they're making now. It's like I said, again, it goes back to the government. There's too much money to be made with guns. The NRA is very powerful. Mm-hmm. Very powerful. They tell the president what to do. It's just a lot of money, and they don't care as long as their families are taken care. They buy these mansions far away so their families can be safe. And you know what? They just let us shoot. They shoot us up. They let us shoot each other up in the ghettos and in lower community law, inadequate communities and stuff. They don't care about that.
And see, that's how, like a lot of people love to say, it's a high rate crime in the poverty area or low income areas of a town or a city. But most of the crimes are committed in the upper class, because this is what they're doing. They're taking their guns because their family have a collection of guns. They buy all these guns and they taking them down to the middle class. In their upper class neighborhood too, they're selling drugs, and it goes down just like that.
But you know what also? It has to do with being educated. Uneducated, when you're educated, you think better. And when you think better, you do better. So this is my own personal belief, because if you have some form of education, you're not going to be out there all times of night right now doing negative things, because you're doing some positive stuff. You're working. You're doing the right thing. And they just had an article right here saying Black Americans accounted for roughly 57% of all gun homicide victims between 2015 and 2019.
Right.
This is what the CDC data shows.
Okay, let me show you something else that goes back to when you said guns and gun violence.
Yeah.
You can be smart in educated, and pressure comes and you get on drugs. Everything goes back to drugs. With people.
Not everything doesn't
Yes,
go
it
back.
does. I'm telling you, if you
I
go
don't think
into, I worked in the prison
I have
system.
too, so I know better.
I worked in the prison system, and this is how the statistic goes with us right now. If you go in a crime right now, you look at somebody crime, they either done sold drugs, how they got in there, they committed a crime, or they're using drugs to commit crime. When you go in these facilities, they are not there to help those that are on drugs. You can go in, especially in a male prison in the state of Georgia, you can get anything you want on the streets, and it's just trickling down to the female prisons.
But I know
they're
that,
catching up.
But we're not talking about. We're talking about
But
guns.
it leads, guns, I'm telling you, guns leads to, you got people, let's say for instance, I'm a millionaire, or either in the high, I'm in the middle class.
Yeah.
I got a gun, I have a gun, used to have a gun collection.
Right.
But let's say a loved one of mine got on drugs. Guess what they were doing? Stealing the guns, pawning them, and getting drugs with them.
But that's not on a, that happens, that's not on a regular basis.
That's not on a regular basis.
That can happen.
That can happen.
That can definitely
But I'm
happen.
telling you.
But that's not on a regular basis.
So
My
they-
thing is that these kids are building these guns. They're getting guns from their friends, and this is what's going on. But the situation you just gave about their father have a gun collection, and yeah, you're right. They may steal a gun or two and give them to their friends, but that don't happen on a regular basis. As well as drugs,
It
a person
happens.
may get on drugs and may take a gun and do something, but that's not what it is. Kids
Mostly.
today are shooting you for nothing. They ain't on high. They shooting
know.
because you're being disrespectful. They feel you being disrespectful to them or their girl. You stepped on their shoe. You looked at them the wrong way. You tapped. You hit them by accident in the mall. Oh, excuse me. All this,
Right.
mentality.
It's at the end of the day, it's all about your pride, because your pride being hurt. And the thing is about it, if everybody was to think with a mind like this, leave your feelings home in the drawer. And once you pull that gun, a lot of people don't know the responsibility of carrying a gun, a weapon, a firearm. It's this right here. Once you pull that gun out, it's an intent to kill.
Agree
That's
with
what it is. A lot of people don't know it behind. A lot of these people getting these guns, these kids, they don't even know the first thing about safety. They're shooting themselves, shooting their friends by accident, playing with them. That lets you know the lack of knowledge. Their parents hadn't sat down and talked to them. This is something that you need to have a discussion with your kids. Don't buy your kids these guns without holding yourself accountable for when they commit a crime. Or if you have a gun in your house, make sure it's locked up at all times.
When you talk about that, I just look at me coming from the hood, and parents, from what I understand, didn't do that. The parents that I know didn't do that. So I don't know about that. I mean, everybody's saying that the parents are buying their children guns. I guess it is in the country somewhere, but in the city, they don't do that.
It's here. If you hunt everywhere.
Well, that's
Everybody
why I'm in the
have
country.
nope. You hunt in the city. You have the suburban parts that take their kids and their families on
don't hunt in
hunting
no
trips.
city, man.
Yeah, you hunt
Yes,
city.
you hunt in the city too. Cause see, you just can't. You got to be diverse. You got to know
What
all.
city
this.
do you hunt in?
You hunt in all Colorado. They hunt. New York. They hunt. New Jersey. They hunt. They come down to Georgia to hunt. They go all over Nebraska, everywhere. See, you just didn't know that because guess who started the city? The Southern country folks. That's who started the city.
Now, I don't know nowhere in the city they hunt unless they go way upstate.
But
somewhere.
they also take them to target practice.
Target practice.
They take target practice, teach them how to shoot at target practice. And that's why these gun ranges are here for target practice. So they learn to shoot guns there at an early age.
They go to the range, right?
Yeah,
But
go
I'm
range.
thinking when she say go hunting, I'm thinking that they
Well, they
hunt
do.
bears in New York and stuff. That's why I
do
said that they don't
take-
have it in New York.
They do take
They
their
do.
kids.
Maybe upstate somewhere.
They do take
It's
their kids.
upstate New York.
All right.
They do take kids hunting to teach them how to hunt. We gotta go on break. Stop right here. We'll come back in a minute.
Where was the light, Coach? I should know.
Right.
Hi, I'm Chief Gary Sparks with the Douglasville Police Department. Today we want to give you some safety tips concerning traffic stops. Take a look.
So you look in your rear view mirror and see flashing blue lights. What do? Remain calm. Yield to the right and pull your vehicle over into an off-road area that is safe for both you and the officer. Put your car in park. Remove your foot from the brake and turn the radio off. Remain in your vehicle. Have your driver's license readily available for the officer. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, visible for the officer at all times. If you need to retrieve any items from the interior, explain what you're reaching for to the officer and avoid any sudden movements. Rolling the window down completely establishes a level of trust with the officer and allows for ease of interaction during the routine traffic stop. Be courteous and polite. Be cooperative and willing to follow the officer's instructions. During a routine traffic stop, the officer will return to his vehicle to run the tag and driver's license verification and complete a citation if one is necessary. Once the officer returns and approaches your vehicle, whether or not a citation or warning is issued, please remain calm, courteous, and cooperative. Sign the citation acknowledging you agree to appear in court, and do not dispute the citation with the officer. The officer will give you a court date to explain or defend your infraction.
Okay, ma'am. Like I told you, I did clock you at 51 in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. I did issue a citation, okay? This here is going to be your court date. I just need a signature from you stating that you received a copy of this citation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Here's your driver license.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the citation, okay? Do you have any questions or concerns for me?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you have a nice day, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Following these few simple steps will help ensure a safe interaction for both you and the officer.
I hope these few tips help you as it relates to dealing with law enforcement and traffic stops. Not only in traffic stops, but in all encounters with law enforcement. We hope that all our encounters are safe for the citizens as well as for our officers. Again, we want you to be safe, and if you have any problems with the Douglasville Police Department, don't hesitate to give us a call and make your concerns known. I would add that Georgia is a right to carry state, and we hope that if you are carrying, that on these traffic stops and all encounters, please let the officer know that you are carrying. This will ensure your safety and our officers' safety. Thank you, may God bless you, and may God keep our community safe. We are one.
We're back on Coach Corner, the final episode of tonight's show. We want to thank our sponsors again, State Farm with Sherry Denard at 155 South Street in McDonough. Also, Rop and Poppin' Granted of McDonough. We'll give Marvin Freightman, Bell Strickland GMC in McDonough. And we'll welcome Jaguars International for the show. We also want to give our producer, Felix Washington, for producing this tonight's show. We're coming back in with to finish up on American gun violence. What can we do about it? And mass shooting. Let's continue with that conversation. Go ahead, John.
Well, I'm thinking about what can we do with it. I mean, like I said, I'm still stuck on stiffer penalties. I'm still stuck on repealing the drug law. You know, I think that voting in your community or voting in elections help, because you can pick the right person for that job who's going to go to bat for you, with at least within your county or your district, about guns. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But if you don't vote, you have no voice in what's going on. So this is why it's very important that we as people have to vote and get involved in what's going on in the community.
Right, but the gun laws still we had to vote to change the gun laws from 18 to 21 because where it seems like now is that tobacco and, like I said, alcohol is more dangerous than guns. If you can buy, you gotta be 21 to do that, but you can carry a gun at 18 and you can kill somebody under the age of 18 and walk away. So we got to change the laws there at the age limits of buying and purchasing guns, and do a better background check with some of these people, you know, with these mental health issues, and a greater background check with them, because they're not doing great background check with all that.
Nope.
You know?
And I think they should limit the number of guns that you should buy. What am I, yourself, what we doing with 100 guns?
Well, like I said to you before, Yolanda,
it's the government.
That's not going to happen because there's too much money in
Yeah,
gun
it's
sales,
not.
as like it's too much money in drug sales. There's
It's
just
government.
too much money
It's
with this,
government.
and it is the government.
It's the government.
They
Everything.
can stop whatever they want to stop.
Everything goes back to the government.
Right.
So, and then as a community, instead of us fighting and bickering each other and killing each other, let's come together and really make Black Lives Matter mean something.
How would you go about to do that?
As far as educating, first you got to start educating with the parents. The parents have to see eye to eye. Like, you know, it take a village to raise a child. Like when we were coming up, if your auntie seen you hit somebody and she whoop you, the mama come home and you'll get a whooping. Now these days, as parents, you tell your child, let's say for instance, I told a little kid to move out the road, baby, that's all I said. Man, the mama like she wanted to blow up, and I said, get the hair out your chest. Because I said you have to think. If I'm saying something to your child, that means that they are in danger. I'm not just going to say anything to anybody's kid.
But you know, it's funny because, like you said, and I always give this analogy. I see two dudes fighting, 13 years old. I would like to break them up. That's the right thing to do.
But you be scared.
But I'm not doing it.
Let me tell you what.
I'm not doing it.
Let me tell you what my motto is this year. I tried to help somebody. I'm gonna say this right here. I tried to help a young man. We was in court. I was with a client, and he's in there showing out.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I'm in there back with somebody, and we listening, and the people was telling them that they was finna take a warrant out on him.
Mm-hmm.
So because he didn't want to get a public defender, or a lawyer didn't have one, they were gonna take him one out because he was cussing and carrying on. So I seen him outside talking. Me being the caring person that I am, the nice person that I am, I said, young man, excuse me. I said it would be for your best interest to go back in there and apologize. Don't apologize. I said, you know, come back in and say that that you know about how you was acting, or just go back in there and tell them that you want a lawyer. Man was on the phone with somebody and said this right here, and this is my statement for now on. Right, this is what I live by from now on. And he told me, he was on the phone, he said, that old lady right here, what she need to do is mind her MF business. And guess what I did? Just like the man on Friday, Fred. You right.
He said, tell her old lady mind her business.
So we gonna talk.
You right.
We're gonna talk about some solutions that we can do about that. It's gonna call violence intervention programs that we can get involved in.
Mm-hmm.
That's a program for the community informed comprehensive program. And a Victim of Crime Act assistance funding, we can also get to about victims who was survivor of gun violence. Just programs that we can get in for people who wasn't victims of that in our community and get involved in that. And another thing, again, I feel that the best solution for gun violence in our schools is get metal detectors. That we should all vote to Congress, the right to our legislators, our Congress, our senators, they don't do anything else. Tell them they need to put metal detectors in all our schools, not just one or two, not to high dollar schools, but all schools should have metal detectors in it.
I agree with you.
And high more security in there. You know, then we're not looking at just the people who got the money schools. How about the lower income schools? They're just crimes in there too. It's just not. The fact is, we just not have been impacted by the lower urban schools by mass shooting yet. There has not been one urban school that been mass shooting. If you look at history, there's not been one. They're all the upper class schools or high class schools been here. White minority schools.
Why is that though? That's a good point. But why is that there's no mass shootings in the black community in the schools as opposed to in the white communities?
That's a question that the government we have to ask. But you realize if you think about that, there has never been one in a black.
Thank God.
But thank God, but think about it too, because if it's one of us, we ain't coming out of there alive.
But
we ain't coming out alive.
On a daily basis, we killing each other up anyway, man.
Right,
So,
we doing our killing one-on-one.
One-on-one.
We can stop, that's why. We're killing ours one-on-one in our own community.
Oh.
But why mass shooting? But let me ask you, robbing and killing them, if you rob somebody and shot down a multi people, is that considered as a mass shooting?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Why not?
They don't consider that as a mass shooting.
Say that again. Hold on. Say that again.
A robbery, if you do a robbery with 4 or 5 people and you shoot them down, that's not considered as a mass shooting.
What is it considered?
A robbery or terrorist act. They say it's not included in a mass shooting.
What makes it a mass shooting?
Hard. It's a hard.
How many people make it a mass shooting?
I don't know how to make a difference there, but they just said that they were saying that the shoot a robbery and killing 4 or 5 people is not a mass shooting, or a terrorist act is not a mass shooting.
Okay, I can agree with that.
But you're doing mass shooting is different when you go kill a whole bunch of kids in the school because they're mass shooting.
Okay,
Malls,
I can
mass
see
shooting.
that.
I guess because of the crowd there, you know. But
you get more time killing a couple of people than in a mass shooting.
You surely do. And you have to look at it. Now, I hate to say this, but you got to look at.
We know what you got to look at. We got to look at it.
Look
of course.
at this
Look what
and that.
Absolutely.
But it's just the fact that, you know, mass shooting have to stop in all our schools, and parents got to be more accountable for their schools and go to their legislators and request metal detectors in all these schools, you know, to protect their kids. I'd rather protect my kids, you know, if they're going to school.
And here go another thing, like Dave Chappelle said, I love to quote his quotes.
What's his quote?
His quote is with mass shooting, he said, you see they're only happening in the suburb areas. Who are committing those? He said, I'm not going to say because the world is sensitive, but he said, here you go with my son in his school. He said, you're most likely to get shot because you look slow. And he said, here it goes. My statement is this right here. If I'm giving you the escape route, it's somebody I already know. The mass murderer, the school shooter, I already know.
That's what Dave Chappelle said?
That's what he said.
Unbelievable.
Wait, we're going to close it. I ended here. Again, this was his Coach's Corner, coming on school violence and American school mass shooting. Again, let's thank our sponsors again. State Farm Sherry Denard, Roppin' Poppin' Gurnett, Marvin Franklin of Bellamy Strickland GMC, and Jaguars International. And great job for Felix Washington, our producer, for this show. Until next week, see you again. We're out. Thank you.
We're out. All right.